Welcome back to Post Time. Bring in the crowns and the tiaras. We're about to show you the newest Delaware Standardbred Breeders' Fund royalty.
All of these finals for first state bred 2-year-olds raced for a rich purse of $100,000. First, let's see those boys in action, and we'll start with the 2-year-old trotters.
At the top of the stretch, Political Foe on the outside, up to get the lead, begins to pull away. Political Foe draws away, nearing the wire. Political Foe and Eddie Dennis, they do it. Political Cash is second best, and it's Wind Power way back. Perfect Van Gogh, 201 and 2.
Political Foe, owned by Stephanie and Brian Cassell, was an upset winner in 201 and 2 on a sloppy track. With trainer Eddie Dennis in the bike, the son of Political Briefing paid almost $20 to win. It was the second career win for the Winback bred freshman. Political Foe had a victory and a second place finish in his 2 eliminations prior to the final. Next up, let's check out the freshman pacing lads, and it was one of the most competitive groups in the recent history of the DSBF Stakes.
They come toward the top of the stretch. KJ Ben, Remember Me, VK up wide to join the leaders. Between those two, Son of a Sizzle, they come off the turn. Remember Me, VK on the far outside. Between them, Son of a Sizzle. Remember Me, VK. Remember Me, VK in front.
Remember Me VK, owned by Ronald Benton and Sharon Wyatt, crossed the finish line in a track record for his division in 152 and 3. Driven by Montrell Teague, the son of art director got a second over journey and paid $9.40 to win. It was the second win in 3 career starts for the Bobby Wyatt trainee. Remember Me VK is bred by Robin West and Ronald Benton, and let's hear from Ron now.
Tonight's win is very emotional for you, for good reason.
Yes, it was my sister that named this colt. She passed away with cancer, and was very attached to this colt's mom, which was all memory, and she really loved her. She was over at the barn all the time, giving her carrots and everything. And she wasn't really into horses a lot, but that kind of touched her a little bit when she was sick. We took and give her something to do to name the colt, and she did, but she never got to see it race, and she kind of emotional again, but she before she passed, I sat down alongside of the bed, and we were talking, and I told her, I said, well, when you're with the man upstairs, I said, put in a good word for this colt, and look where we're at. It's great.
Let's also check in with Matt Sparacino for more on this top colt.
A lot of times when you see these horses coming into the stakes, they usually have a few starts under their belt. He was the only one that was making his first start in an elimination. Were you at all worried that he might be behind some of these other colts that had a little bit more seasoning?
Qualifying down, I told Bobby he's got a special one here. And let him off, we cut him and gelded him, so we brought him back and he was perfect. When I qualified him back, I said, we're going to have a lot of fun with this guy.
Were you anticipating a lot of early speed, and obviously being able to work out that second over trip and going 3 wide, you had to feel pretty good then?
Yeah, it worked out perfect. I mean, my plan was to take back and run off the pace, but I seen the ones on the outside leaving out there, so it made it all easier. And 7 dropped in front of me and made it a way big difference, because that's exactly the trip I wanted, because I knew he's going to come first up. I have a second over trip, and he'll take me right where I want to be.
Well, Montrell, we want to congratulate you with Remember Me VK, bringing the trainer Bob Wyatt. Bobby, tell us about this colt. Quite an impressive record early in his career. How did you get him, and tell us when you knew he was a good one?
Well, Ronnie had the mare, and she was really fast, and we had some unlucky. She broke a bone, and so we had to put with her. And I told him right then, I said, you keep that mare, because she's a good gaited, very fast, and she's a all-American native mare, and they're supposed to be good mares. So we bred to art director, and when I broke this colt and started training him, I said, this is colt special. And I was telling George Teague that I trained a lot of horses for him, and I said, you know, this colt acts like one of your good ones. I said, he don't act like some natural young horse. I said, he's got a lot of class to him, and all the way down training, he's been that way. And I tell you, I got to congratulate Montreal. He's drove him 3 times, qualified him twice, and he's been perfect every time.
Well, quite a nice horse indeed with a track record-setting performance tonight. I assume he's going to Dover from here, and how do you think he'll be on the bigger track?
Well, Montreal has already told me he'll be really good up there because he's a little funny. He's still green. He gets a little crooked in the turns, and I think the big track will help him a lot.
Now it's time to see the 3-year-old filly trotters on the track for their final.
They come to the top of the stretch. Call Me Mize on the outside joins the leaders, Sign and Drive. They come off the turn, Sign and Drive. Call Me Mize on the outside, up after the lead, coming through the stretch. Call Me Mize. Penny Paratrooper down the inside, coming to the wire. Call Me Mize. Sign and Drive, Penny Paratrooper way back. Start hit 204 and 2.
Call Me Mize, owned and bred by Bib Roberts, Graham Grace Stables, and M&W Stables, won over a sloppy track with a 204 and 2 mile. At the controls was Bib's son, driver John Roberts, and the duo paid $9.40. The high Stephen Lass, who won both of her elimination races, went off stride early in this final but recovered to get the win for trainer Bib Roberts. Call Me Mize is a daughter of Great George II, a very accomplished trotter who Roberts also campaigned. Finally, rounding out the Delaware Standardbred Breeders' Fund events, let's check out the Pacing Lasses.
They're at the top of the stretch, turning for home, and it's Totally Rusty coming off the turn with the lead. Totally Rusty. Down the inside, Gigi Dale, Perfect Bags coming on the outside, coming through the stretch, Totally Rusty, and Perfect Bags on the outside. 153 and 2.
Perfect Bags, owned by Joanne Looney King, won her final in 153 and 2, a track record for pacing 2-year-old fillies. With Vic Kirby in the bike, the Roddy's Bags Again daughter traveled first up and paid $11.80 for the win. Bred by Winback Farm, she remained perfect in her career with 4 wins for trainer Jim King Jr. Take it away, Matt Sparacino.
Perfect Bags along with driver Victor Kirby, an exciting finish. Victor, tell us about this filly. She came into the race undefeated. You hate to say a horse was flying under the radar at undefeated, but I think the perceived favorites going into this DSBF series were Gigi Deo and, of course, Totally Rusty. But this filly really surprised us tonight.
Totally Rusty, not taking anything from her or Gigi Deo. They both raced super. This filly just showed a lot of guts tonight and really dug in late. And one thing that Joanne and Jimmy have told me all along is she loves to have a target. She on the front end, yeah, she's good, but she loves to have a horse to go after. And at the head of the lane, when I saw Corey's horse filly getting a little bit tired, I said, I got a shot at him, and she just dug in and went and got her.
Now talk about this filly. Going in, she had, I'd argue, say she had easier divisions in the first 2 eliminations. She got away from the 2 big threats, Gigi Deo, Totally Rusty. How confident were you going in, knowing that she was relatively untested against that caliber?
I was pretty confident because she's a nice filly, and the race she won at Chester was very impressive. She came first up from the half, chased down a pretty good horse, and she really liked doing it. And I told Jimmy, I said, she just loves to go after a target, and he said, yes, she does. And not taking anything away from her on the front and not giving a game plan away, but she's way better doing that than being on the front end.
And we'll bring in the owner, Joanne Looney King. Husband Jim King Jr. trains this filly. Joanne, tell us about this filly. I believe you had the mare.
We had the mare, and the mare couldn't go a quarter much faster than 35 seconds. She couldn't even get good enough to bring to qualify. And I went to the sale at Chicks last December to buy a weanling, and I couldn't come home with the weanling because everything went too high. I had $2,000. So I came back with her for $2,000. And my husband said, don't you remember who the mare was? And I said, nope. He said, you owned her. I said, so he said, like he always does, he said, I'll just do what I do with all of them. I'll train her. And I just kept hearing all the time, she's not bad, she's not bad, she's not bad. And this is the most exciting race I've ever won in over 60 years.
Well, congratulations to all the connections involved. Joanne Looney King, trainer Jim King Jr., driver Victor Kirby. It's been a career year for trainer Jim King Jr. We look forward to seeing more from Perfect Bags at Dover Downs.